This lesson, we're going to talk about graphs of sine and cosine functions. Only sine and cosine sections. So the first thing that you need to know that it have a domain of negative infinity to positive infinity. Range is negative 1 to 1. And you can see it's always the highest points is 1, lowest points is negative 1, unless it had a whole thing of shifting, right? So, and same thing for cosine. Highest positive 1, lowest will be negative 1. And then you have a period of 2 pi, right, for both. And your sine is going to be origin symmetry. So because it's origin symmetry, it starts from 0, 0, right? So this is going to be symmetry to this other side right here, right? So this is going to be origin symmetry. Quadrant 1, quadrant 3 symmetry, right? And your cosine function is going to be y-axis symmetry. Origin symmetry, y-axis symmetry. Because when you fold y-axis, this and this match, right? So this is y-axis symmetry. It means your graph for cosine start from the highest points, right? What else we need to know in order to graph sine and cosine functions? Horizontal shifting will be pi over 2, and in order to find the 5 key points, so when it say 5 key points, let me erase this for a second so you can see better. Your 5 key points will be here, 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 here. Right? That's going to be your 5 points. So starting points, the graph changing points, right? That's going to be your 5 points. For sine, this is going to be cosine. Same value, right? It's going to be period over 4. So with that information of sine, cosine graph, this is the most important thing you need to remember in order for you to graph sine, cosine. What does this one saying? Well, this is given as the standard form of sines, and this is cosine. With that, in order to find the amplitude, it's going to be absolute of A. This A right there. The value in front of sine and cosine. And then if we wanted to find the period, it will be 2 pi over B. So your B is going to be value that is multiplied to the variable x. And then we have horizontal shifting. It's going to be C over B, right? Your C is right here, again, B right there. And then you're going to have a vertical shifting of D. So this is going to be vertical shifting. And in order to find the 5 key points, you're going to do plus period plus, over 4, right? So this is all the formula you're going to need in order to find your graph. So these sections, basically we're going to do exercise of graphing. We start with a simpler one. On example 1, you have the first one, we have y equals to 1 over 2 sine x, right? So first one. If we wanted to find the graph, let's just follow the step here. Let's try to find the amplitude, right? So it'll be absolute of 1/2, right? And period is going to be 2 pi. And then 5k point. It's going to be, period is 2 pi over 4. So it will be pi over 2. Let's see, with that information, how am I going to graph? So amplitude is the height. So it will be here, will be 1/2. Absolute value, so going lower will be 1/2. And your 5 points will be pi over 2. So the first points start from 0, so will be the next is going to be pi over 2. Pi over 2 more. So you're adding all 5 points will be plus pi over 2. Plus pi over 2. To find the next one will be 2 pi over 2, which is pi, right? So next one is going to be pi. This is the first. And then when you're adding pi over 2 again, that's going to be 3 pi over. So this is going to be pi. This is going to be 3 pi over 2. And then next one will be pi. 2 pi. And this is going to be what? Sine functions. And remember, sine start from 0 because it is origin symmetry. So the next point will be high, going down and coming back. Connect those dots with smooth curved lines will give you your graph of that sine functions. Let's try one more. This is B. This is another sine graph, right? So this one I have amplitude of absolute of -2. Your period is going to be 2 pi and 5 key points. I will do 2 pi over 4, so that will be pi over 2 again, right? So you're adding pi over 2 to each values. So let's see if I can graph that sine functions. So height, amplitude will be 2, going up 2, going down 2. Your sine start from the 0. Don't forget this negative. So you don't go up first, you're going to go down. And your 5 points, so next points should be pi over 2. And if you add pi over 2 to pi over 2, it will be 2 pi over 2, which is pi. And then it will be 3 pi over 2, and it will be 2 pi. Start going down after the origin, going up, and connect those dots with smooth curved lines will be your sine graph. Let's try another one. What happens if you have the value multiplied to the x? Remember, we consider that as b. So this is a, and this is b, right? What happens if we have a, b attached to the sines? That will be the c graph. So your amplitude is going to be absolute of 3. Period is 2, because your b is 2, right? Pi over 2, which is going to be pi. And then 5 key points is going to be pi with your period over 4, so it will be pi over 4. And you're adding pi over 4 from each point, right? So your amplitude is 3, height is 3. This is positive, so you're going to go up every from the starting points on your first period, right? So that will be pi over 4. When you're adding pi over 4 to that, it's going to give you 2 pi over 4, which is pi over 2. Pi over 2. The next point adding pi over 4. So that's the big 3 point. That's going to give you 3 pi over 4. So that must be 4 pi over 4, which is pi. So go up here, going back, go down, and coming back. Draw the smooth curve parabola, going through that 5 points. That's going to be your sine functions. Let's try one more D. This one, you have A, B, C, D part, right? This is A, this is B. You don't have D, you have all the way to C. Let's see what makes the difference. So this one, you have amplitude of 4, absolute value of 4. Your period is going to be B pi over 2, so it will be B is 2 pi over 2, so that's going to be pi. And then your 5 key points, you're going to use the period, which is pi here. Wait, hold on. Let's do before you do period, because we have a C value this time, we wanted to find the horizontal shifting, right? So let's erase that. So horizontal shifting. Or horizontal is going to be, let's see, C over B. So your C being 2 pi over 3, your B is 2. When you simplify that, it will be 2 pi over 6, which is pi over 3. So that's the shifting, horizontal shifting. And then again, going back to the 5 key points, we're going to plus your period, which is pi over 4. So you're adding pi over 4. So let's see if we can graph. Where are we starting? We're starting from not 0, 0 anymore because you have horizontal shifting. So instead of 0, 0, we start from pi over 3. So that's the shifting we have. From pi over 3, you're going pi over 4, right? So this is going to give you, have to have same denominator, so it will be 12. So 4 pi over 12 plus 3 pi over 12, you get 7 pi over 12. So the next point should be 7 pi over 12. And let's add pi over 4 again. And we know pi over 4 is equivalent to, what was it? 3 pi over 12, right? So when we are adding 3 pi over 12, that's going to be 10 pi over 12. So that will be the next point. And if you want to, you can reduce that, which is going to be 5 pi over 6, right? And you're going to add another. So I'm going to continue. Let me just scroll over a little bit. We use that one, and that one. We're going to add another pi over 4, which is 3 pi over 12. This is going to give you 13 pi over 12, so that's the 4th point. And we are adding another 3 pi over 12 to find the last 5th point. This is going to be 16 pi over 12. And when you reduce that, it will be 4 pi over 3. Starting from here, this is positive function, so go up. What was the amplitude? This is going to be 4. going up, coming back, down, and connect those dots with smooth curved lines. That will be the graph of these functions right here. So now in example 2, we're going to look at 3 more graphs with cosine this time. We work 4 example of sines. And then the last problem is to see what about if you have another attached part D, right? So that's what you're going to look at. So let's do the first example. A. We wanted to find the amplitudes will be absolute of -3. And then your period is going to be 2 pi over b. So it will be 2 pi over 2. And when you simplify that, it gives you 4 pi over pi, which is 4. And then 5 key points is going to be period over 4. Since your period is 4, it will be 4 over 4, which is 1. So you're going to add 1 from each point. So let's graph this cosine. Let's make the height first. It will be 3, -3. And remember, cosine start from up here, but because this had negative, it will start from the bottom. So that will be the starting point. From that starting point, you're going to add 1. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Go up, coming back down. So parabola, smooth curved line connecting all that 5 dots is going to be your graph of a given function A. Let's try another one. What about if this time you have 1/2, oops, it's covering the whole thing, 1/2 cosine 4x plus pi. So here you can find amplitude be absolute of 1/2. You can find the period of pi over 2 pi over 4, which is pi over 2. And then horizontal shifting is going to be negative pi over 4. And if we wanted to find the 5 key points, we're going to do 1/2 over 4, which is pi over 8. So you're adding pi over 8. And adding pi over 8, so let me start graphing here. I wanted to graph on the bottom so that I'll have space to find the 5 key points. We'll go up 1/2, go down 1/2. We have a horizontal shifting for negative pi over 4, so that's the point we're going to start it right here. Negative pi over 4. And this is going to be cosine positive, so start from up there. So that will be the first point. And the second point, you're going to add pi over 8. So starting from negative pi over 4, you're adding pi over 8. Have to have same denominator, so it will be 2 pi over 8 plus pi over 8. That gives you just negative pi over 8, right? So your second point should be negative pi over 8. And when you're adding, so now for negative pi over 8, you're adding another pi over 8, that will be 0. So from here, going down, will be there, right? 0. And then from 0, you're adding pi over 8 again, will be pi over 8. And then when you add pi over 8 to it, that's 2 pi over 8, so it'll be pi over 4. So we have all 5 points. Now let's see if we can graph. Right? So that's how you're going to graph the second quadratic functions. Let's try another C. Okay, let's look at one more C. Oops. This one have y equals to 1/2 cosine x minus 1. So this one do not have b value. Well, b value is 1, right? So amplitude is going to be 1/2, absolute of 1/2. Period is 2 pi over b, which is 1, so it will be 2 pi. And this time, because having only C, it's going to have your vertical shifting. Which is -1. This is a vertical shifting. Remember this point that we found? That was a horizontal shifting, right? So then, with the vertical shifting, let me see if I can graph this. Everything that was in this line right here, now it goes 1 unit down. And let's see if we can find 5 key points. That's going to be period over 4, which is pi over 2. So you're adding pi over 2. So your amplitude is 1/2. So it'll be somewhere right here. From that point, from this point, going 1/2 up, so it'll be -1/2. Going down 1/2, so it'll be -3 over 2, right? And the cosine start from up here, so it will be that points. Your 5 key points, add pi over 2, and pi over 2 plus pi over 2 is going to be pi. So adding 1/2 to it, right? So there will be 3 pi over 2, and that will be 2 pi. We'll be here then, going down, coming back. That's the graph you're going to have for C cosine functions. Let's look at D. This time you have all the value. You have A, B value, C value, and D value. So you should be able to find more information here, right? Your amplitude is going to be absolute of 3. Your period is going to be 2 pi over minus pi over, is it minus? Yeah, minus pi over 4, but then period cannot be negative, so let's just use pi over 4, which give you 8. And the horizontal shifting, let's differentiate, is going to be negative pi over 2 over pi over 4, which is going to give you, let's multiply by 4 both sides to get rid of denominator, is going to be negative 2 pi over pi, which is negative 2. And then vertical shifting is going to be negative 4. So when you graph this, let's go down 4. So we're going to go down 4. And we have horizontal shift of negative 2, so it'll be somewhere right here. Let's say this is negative 2. And remember, this is sine function, so it starts from the middle, right? And what else we need to find? 5 key points, right? That will be 8 over 4, which is going to be 2. So you're going to add 2. So it'll be starting from here and then go down to, hold on. So let's mark the amplitude from here so that we can go down. Your amplitude going up 3, this is going to be negative 1. Going down 3, this is going to be negative 7. So you're going down first. And then next 2 will be coming back. Next 2 will be going up. And next 2 will be coming back. So that's the graph you have for function t.